Hi folks, sorry I'm not in today. We're going to carry on with where we left off. We just started looking at the factorising of a quadratic when the coefficient of x squared is bigger than 1. Okay, so essentially when we've got a number here. So just to remind you, this is written in the form, and you do have this in your book, so you should have it already. Ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, and all that means it's just the form of the expression. Okay, so a is 2, b is 9, and c is 4 in this instance. So I've given you already some steps on what to do, but let's just go over them as a bit of a reminder. Please take some notes and copy down. I'm going to do 3 examples. Can you please make sure you've got at least 2 of them in your books? So our first step is to multiply a by c. A multiplied by c. Okay, so in this instance that's 2 times 4, which is 8. Okay, and now we're going back to very similar to what we were doing before. Okay, so whereas before we were looking for numbers or factors of 4 which you could add together to give 9, in this instance we're now looking for factors of 8 which add together to give 9. Okay, so I'm going to write out my factor pairs of 8. I've got 1 and 8, 2 and 4. Okay, and I'm going to look which pair of those can I use to make a 9, and I hope you can see that's going to be the 1 and 8, because 1 plus 8 is 9. Okay, so this is what I'm interested in. Now the next really important step is to rewrite the expression. Okay, rewrite the expression. So this expression up here, we're going to rewrite it. Now it's going to be exactly the same as it is up there, but I'm going to change my 9x for 1x add 8x. Okay, so plus x plus 8x, because of course we don't need to write the 1, and the plus 4 stays the same. So all I've done, I've chosen my factor pair that works, and I know it's going to be 1 and 8, and they're both going to be positive because it's 1 plus 8 gives us positive 9. And I've now replaced my positive 9 with x plus 8x, which if we simplified would give us 2x squared plus 9x plus 4. Okay, but I've just separated them out, and there's a reason for this. So what I can do now, I'm going to split this right down the middle. Okay, so there's 2 terms on one side and 2 terms on the other side. Now there is no particular reason that I've put x add 8x. I could have just as easily put 8x plus x, and I'm going to show you in just a moment what would have happened if I'd done that, okay, because we will get to the same answer. So now I'm going to factorise, rewrite the expression, and factorise each half. I'm going to factorise each half of the expression. So this one here gives me, my highest common factor is x, and inside my bracket I'm going to get 2x, because that will multiply to give me 2x squared, plus 1, because x times 1 is in x. And then on this side, my highest common factor is 2. Okay, and then inside the bracket, I'm sorry, it's not 2 at all, it's 4. 4, okay, highest common factor there. And inside the bracket, that leaves me with 2x to get the 8x plus 1. Okay, now what we get left with here is, you should find this is always the case. You should get the same 2 brackets here, okay? There'll be something different on the outside most likely, but the insides of them should be the same. If they're not, double check what you've done, okay? Because it sounds like you might have made a mistake. And now our final step is to put these into an expression of their own where it's finally factorised. And the way we do that, we have one bracket which is the same as the 2 brackets which match here. Okay, so we're going to have that as one of our brackets, and our other bracket is created from the 2 numbers in front of them. Okay, so it's going to be x plus 4. And the reason it's x plus 4 is because this 4 is positive. I've not put a negative sign in there, so it's definitely a positive. And that is now fully factorised. If we multiplied that and expanded it and then simplified it, we would get this. Okay, now I'm going to just show you what would have happened had I done these the other way around, okay, because that's interesting and it's important you know why, what would happen if you did that. So I'm just going to move it up there slightly, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to rewrite this line here, because the process would have been the same up here, but I'm going to swap these two around. So 2x squared plus 8x plus x plus 4. Okay, and this time I'm going to factorise, so I'm going to split it in half exactly the same as I did last time. Split it right down the middle there. Okay, and I'm going to factorise each half. So this time I get 2x as my highest common factor with an x plus 4 inside. And this one, now be careful, okay, because when you're doing this you really do have to make sure you've got something on the outside of that bracket. In this instance there isn't a common factor of x and 4. So what we're going to do, we're going to take out the 1, okay, as a common factor, because that can be taken out of anything. Usually it's not very helpful to us. In this instance it will be helpful. So 1x plus 4. So we've got the same matching brackets this time, okay, and now we can use those to finish our answer. So we get x plus 4, that's my matching one, and the other one is 2x plus 1, and that's why it's important we've got that 1 there, okay. So you actually get the exact same answer, but you just got there the other way around, okay. So where on the first instance we got 2x plus 1 inside the brackets, on the second one we've got the x plus 4 inside the brackets. So it doesn't matter which way around you write these, it won't make any difference for your final answer. Okay, so there's your first example. We're going to do another one. This time I'm going to do one with a negative number in there, okay, just to make things a little bit trickier. So which one should we do? Let's do this one here. So just tidy that up a little bit. There we go. So this time again we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to do a multiplied by c. Now be careful, because this time our c is negative 10. If it helps, write those numbers at the side. A is 3, b is negative 13, and c is negative 10. If it helps you to have those written out, do that, okay? That's absolutely fine. So we're going to do a multiplied by c, which is 3 multiplied by negative 10, which is negative 30. So this time we're looking for two numbers which multiply to give us negative 30, but add to give negative 13. Okay, so of course we're going to have to deal with some negatives here. And this is where it gets a little bit trickier. But you guys can do this. I've got no worries that you can do this. So instead, like last time, we're going to kind of ignore the negative for a minute. And we're just going to look at factor pairs of 30. Okay, so factor pairs of 30. Okay, and we've got 1, 30, 2, 15, 3, 10, 5 and 6. Okay, and I'm looking now, which ones of those can I add or subtract to make 13? Okay, and actually, interesting enough, there are two options on this one. We could have 3 plus 10 is the 13, or 15 minus 2. Okay, so we're going to have to think carefully which one of these is going to be the correct one. So we could have this one, or we could have this one. Okay, and this is where you've got to watch out for those numbers, those signs. So we're looking for negative 30. And because by multiplying we want to get negative 30, that means that one of our numbers has to be a negative and the other one has to be positive. It's the only way for us to get a negative result here. Okay, so we're looking for a negative and a positive. So if I had negative 3 and positive 10, let's see, negative 3 plus 10, well that gives me 7. That's not negative 13, that's not what I want. So if I did that the other way around and I had 3 and negative 10, that gives me negative 7. It's still not negative 13, okay? So I think that means that we can discount this choice, and it looks like we're going to need to use this one. So if we had negative 2 plus 15, that gives us 13, which is great, but we want negative 13, okay? Our b is negative 13. So let's do it the other way around. We could have 2 and negative 15. And negative 15. Which does give us negative 13. So there are numbers. We want 2 and negative 15. Okay. Now let's rewrite the equation now then. So we're going to have 3x squared Can you still see it? There we are. And instead of negative 13x, I'm going to put plus 2x minus 15x. Plus 2x minus 15x. And then keep that negative 10 at the end, L minus 10 there. Okay. So, yeah, this bit is the only part that I think you might need a little bit of extra practice on. Okay, this is the bit that you're going to need to really concentrate on and make sure you're trying all these possibilities and making sure you're not just assuming one set of numbers is going to work. Now, the rest of it's quite nice. So once we've done them, and again, like last time, it didn't matter if I'd have put negative 15 plus 2. It wouldn't have made a difference. Okay, I'm going to split it in half straight down the middle with 2 terms on each side and factorise. So this side we get a common factor of x, and we get 3x plus 2 inside the brackets. Okay, and this side, now watch out for these signs because we're going to have a negative involved here. My highest common factor here is actually negative 5. Okay, so that's what I'm going to take out, my negative 5. And inside I get left with 3x plus 2. Because, of course, negative 5 multiplied by 2 is negative 10. So, again, just be super careful with your signs. And now we've just got that last little step where we write them out. Okay, so we've got 3x plus 2 in both of these, so that's really helpful. We know something's working right. 3x plus 2. And then in the other bracket, we've got x minus 5. And now that's fully factorised. Okay, right, let's just do one more example and then I'm going to let you have a go at some by yourselves. So the last example that we're going to do is this one here. So we've got 4x squared plus 8x minus 21. Okay, so we're going to go straight in there and do our multiplication. Okay, 4 multiplied by negative 21. So I might even, as a different way of doing these for some people who might find this helpful, we're looking for numbers which multiply to give 4 times negative 21. Okay, so we're looking for numbers which multiply to give us negative 84. Chose this number especially for a certain man on the front row whose favourite number is to multiply into 84. And then we're looking for numbers which add to give 8. Okay, so it might help you to have something like that just to help you, you know, direct your thoughts. Okay, so now we can look at factor pairs of 84. Now I know this one came up last lesson and it was nobody's favourite, I'm sure. So we've got 1 and 84. It's not mine either, to be quite truthful. 2 and 42. 3 and 28. Then we've got 4. Now 4 goes into there 21 times. We know that because we've just done 4 times 21. 4, 21. What else goes into there? 5 obviously doesn't go because it's an even number, but 6 does. 6 goes in 14 times. Goes in 12 times. Okay, and that's everything, because if we go to 8, 8 doesn't go into 84 because it goes into 80. 9 doesn't go into 84 because it goes into 81. 10 doesn't go into 84 because it doesn't end 0. And 11 doesn't go into 84 because we know 11 goes into 88. And then we're back to 12. So we know that we've covered everything. Okay, so that's our factor pairs. And now we're looking for which of these we can combine to get the number 8. Okay, so 7 and 2, any way we combine those, we're going to get some version of 5, either negative or positive. So that can go. 6 and 4 does have a difference of 8. So that's a possibility. 4 and 21, no, that's miles away. And the same for the rest of these, they're all miles away. So we're looking at 6 and 14. Okay, and now we've just got to make sure we're doing this the right way around, because actually we want to add and get a positive 8, but we need to multiply and get a negative. So we know again one of them has to be negative. So if we did negative 6 add 14, we get positive 8, actually. First time lucky. Okay, we did it. Had we done it the other way around and done negative 14 add 6, we'd have got negative 8, which wouldn't have been right. So here are our numbers, negative 6 and 14. So we're going to rewrite 4x squared minus 6x plus 14x minus 21. Let's separate those straight down the middle and factorise. So we're going to take out this time, we're going to take out 2x. Okay, we've got 2 is common and the x is common. So 2x, and this actually leaves us with 2x inside as well to get the 4x squared. It's going to be minus 3. And on this side we can take out the 7, and we can't take out the x because that's not common, so we get 7 2x minus 3 as well. Okay, so nice little check there. They're the same. So our final factorisation is going to be 2x minus 3 and 2x plus 7, because that isn't a negative. Okay, so there are 3 examples. I have got those typed up on the PowerPoint as well in case you need to look back at those. They'll be on there for you to look back at. But you can have a go at some by yourselves now. Good luck.